Hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 98 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one podcast in Canada. We're recording on Monday, September 25th, 2017.
I'm Tim, a sports shooter, father of three, and the owner and operator of Tim's Good T-shirts. They're quite good, and I'm the descendant of beer-drinking immigrants.
I'm Gavin, business owner, gun enthusiast, hunter, atheist, host of the Greater Toronto Area chapter of the Tactical Beard Owners Club.
I'm Marty, hunter and sports shooter in rural Southern Ontario.
As always, my name is Andrew. I'm a recovering libertarian, a competitive shooter, and a firearms instructor at Ragnarok Tactical.
Then we'd love to hear your feedback about the show, so please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Please feel free to tell us how the drunk American triggered you last week. We'd love to hear that. Then the edited version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes. And we'd love some more 5-star reviews for the iTunes because it's been a little while since we've had one of those. That, put down something you'd like us to drink in the word part of that whole thing when you do that. That'd be nice.
Don't make us turn our drunk American up. We will if we have to get hate mail.
All right. And as always, you can check out the podcast at facebook.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast or Instagram at instagram.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast.
We need your help. To support the show, visit www.patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get the uncensored audio version of the show for just $1 per episode. And the more you pledge, the better the rewards are.
All right, let's do. What are we drinking? Gavin, what are you drinking?
As per usual for the last little while, I'm drinking the Crown Royal Apple and Coke Zero.
Stuff. Marty, what are you drinking?
I have a Glenlivet 12 with fluoride-free water.
Nice.
Holy shit, you're drinking scotch again?
Classy.
Yeah. What prompted that?
Out of anything else.
You drank all that Coors Light?
Well, no, but we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist.
He drank all the alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That explains the hangover on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like
Yeah,
this
that was the
story.
good stuff.
Where would we leave off? Tim, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking 40 Creek Barrel Select for a change with reverse osmosis water.
Oh, Barrel Select. Solid choice.
It's yummy.
I'm doing something new tonight. It's 9 o'clock, and I'm drinking coffee. Black Rifle Coffee Company's Just Black with Jameson, naturally. And Black Rifle Coffee Company is a premium, small batch, roast-to-order, veteran-owned and operated coffee company. And they're coming to Canada. So check them out, because I'm trying to get some free coffee from them, because so far I've only had to pay shipping to get coffee, and you can too. BlackRifleCoffeeCompany.ca.
Yep. So they're coming to Canada.
$10 to get 2 pounds of coffee.
Really? That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah, you
coming to
just
Canada.
Yeah.
Unlike Chelsea Manning.
Yeah.
Yes. They
You
did
just
not, in
have
fact,
to
get turned away by border services.
Send an email to it. Is it Craig@blackriflecoffee.ca and tell him that you want 2 bags or something? I believe is the shtick.
Yeah, tell them what you want. That's right. Email Craig. Go on their website, blackriflecoffeecompany.ca.
Yeah.
And
Say
while you're at it,
say you want tea bag.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
tell Evan Hafer that I did a really good ad read, and he should send me more coffee.
And Tim fucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. This is why we're never going to get real sponsors.
But anyone else that wants us to shill for you, we will do it, and we'll do a much better job.
But let's get into the news.
What do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby.
Can't find my news intro, so that'll do for now.
Close enough.
All right. First one comes to us from the CBC.
Oh.
Apparently, the pot legislation in Ontario is not predicted to do very well. From the CBC article, doomed to fail, Toronto pot industry reacts to government's new framework. Under the new plan, the government will shut down illegal dispensaries. For clarity, I don't think that's really part of the new plan. The Ontario government's been cracking down on illegal businesses for some time because they're illegal businesses.
Yeah. I mean, those that did open up dispensaries did jump the gun a little bit, hoping that the legislation that they voted for by voting in the Liberals would actually legalize marijuana instead of continue to make it some sort of, prohibitive substance, if you will.
Yeah, that's an optimism that their ancestors would probably be disgusted by.
That's an optimism that their ancestors should have natural selection been eliminated.
Yeah. My smells liberal government interference.
I like the quote from the person here saying, "This is nothing more than a government attempt to monopolize an industry that they fought against for decades." Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
You can't beat them. Government regulate it.
If you can't beat them, regulate them out of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody's shocked about this. There's a bunch of news coming on about upcoming legislation, both provincially in Ontario and at the federal level, and I'm sure other provinces. I think I saw something for BC the other day. They've started to announce their framework, or they have a draft legislation or what have you, and the federal Liberals have something drafted that they're planning on releasing in as a bill on July 1st of 2018. I don't think it's supposed to be in law yet because it's not gone through first reading. I think it's going to be read for July 1, 2018. So I can't say that I'm particularly shocked by this. I mean, these businesses have been operating illegally. We've been over this before. If you choose to skirt the laws, I mean, you have to be prepared to deal with the consequences of that, including being shut down. But if you voted for the Liberal governments because you thought they were going to legalize your cannabis products, you were sadly mistaken. And I don't know how you believe that the Liberal government would somehow just give you access to something that was up until recently a controlled substance.
Probably because they'd been smoking a lot of that controlled substance, and probably a lot better quality than the government stuff they're going to be getting shortly.
Yeah. Well, I like that argument. That part of this is that the new Marijuana Control Board of Ontario, or whatever they're going to do, because it's going to be based on the Liquor Control Board scheme that we have, the government monopoly for distributing alcohol in Ontario.
Oh, good.
Apparently, the marijuana that's expected to be available through the Marijuana Control Board is going to be the low THC variety. So it's expected that the illegal drugs will still be the way for people to get high, so they'll just continue to use the illegal drug dealers that they have now, or conversely, the illegal dispensaries that they have now.
So are you saying that the private market is going to provide a superior service to the public?
I don't. A superior product and service, which they're already doing.
Should we take turns slapping our faces in dismay or surprise? Like
no, I don't. Anyone who didn't see this coming,
it's assumed.
I feel bad for you, son.
So here's a question: now that this this Marijuana Control Board of Ontario is not its own thing, it's being placed as a subset underneath the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, which we've just sold a portion of the ownership. So the profits from this are now going to that whoever bought the controlling shares, or the, I don't know if it's controlling or minor shares of the Liquor Control Board of Ontario.
There's a strong possibility of that, yes.
Now, do you think that this was taken into the evaluation, or do you think that they're just now getting free profit?
That depends.
No, somewhere there was a bean counter that was like, well, there's a way that we could make money on this investment. We should make money on this investment.
Yeah. No, but I guarantee you that when the shares were sold for the LCBO, that was based on the economic value of the LCBO, and now they're getting the economic power of this marijuana side as well. for free,
But it was
basically.
probably not put in the valuation so that whoever bought it,
Right.
which is probably one of like the liberal buddies, got it at a deal, and now they're going to make
Exactly.
extra money, and there's going to be some like hidden kickback along the way for somebody, for their cousin or
already get a deal, right? Like, who owns all of the licensed producers in Canada? I'll give you a hint. It's mostly big name liberal politicians.
yeah.
All right. Anything else with this?
Once again, if you voted liberal because of the pod thing, you're an idiot. Carry on.
Excellent. I have excellent news from south of the northern border wall.
You too?
Caliber Mag. You too?
I just got excellent news, but it's going to have to wait till we talk about the Fuck Cancer charity shoot.
Okay. That's,
Everyone
Continue to
knows we
tune
have.
in.
Everyone knows we have the best news.
good our news is. They're going to get tired of newsing. I can't use news as an adjective. That doesn't work. Anyhow, Caliber Magazine has an article summarizing information that was released by the Trump administration. Trump is preparing to roll back ITAR arms export restrictions. So for everyone out there in podcast land, ITAR is the International Traffic in Arms Regulation, which is an American federal law, a federal set of statutes that governs what and how gun parts and related materials can be exported outside of the United States. It falls under the Department of State as well as the Department of Commerce. There's two government agencies that take care of the ITAR things, depending on what it is. What this means for Canadian firearms owners is it may become easier to get gun parts into the country. It may also be able to become less prohibitively expensive to import individual firearms out of the United States and into Canada. So this is good for gun owners because it means that we're removing a bunch of the administrative burden that we have placed right now when you're trying to order guns or gun parts from the U.S.
Yeah, it'd also mean that a lot of training opportunities down in the U.S. are actually opened up to Canadians. I mean, a lot of places do it anyways because they either aren't aware of the regulation or they just don't care. But yeah, this is a huge thing for us.
So
Yeah,
for
streamlining.
that's one that I sort of see is making a big difference is the training opportunities. So things like the gun parts, I mean, for the most part, the bulk of your stuff, like your example, like your Brownells, your larger exporters, they can deal with the ITAR paperwork. It's really not, it's not, it doesn't really affect your shipment of Brownells order.
No, but
It
there's
doesn't, but it affects a lot of smaller boutique
Yes, that's where I was going to go.
manufacturers.
The smaller guys
Right.
that aren't set up to deal with ITAR, that right now just don't export to Canada because they don't want to deal with the ITAR stuff, will now be able to.
Yeah.
It's not
to
even
export to
the
Canada.
dealing with the paperwork. The ITAR licenses are incredibly expensive on an annual basis in the United States. Like to become an ITAR approved exporter to go through the State Department process to be able to export things legally, unless you're a big distributor like Brownells where you're moving, literally millions of dollars of product. Like I was just looking at stuff from Manticore Arms. Manticore Arms makes parts for the Tavor and some other oddball rifle platforms, the AUG, the Bren 805, and half a dozen other oddball rifles. But I was specifically looking at Tavor parts. And they don't export directly, but they have an exporter that you can work with. But it still becomes prohibitively expensive unless you order like the entire $500 limit to make the paperwork cost worthwhile because you're capped out at $500. But when I want a $70 Tavor butt pad and it costs me $400 to get it into the country, it's kind of silly.
Yeah. Or if you want to, buy a scope for your rifle that you could already readily buy at a store here, but they just maybe don't have in stock or have for a ridiculous price, you can't buy it. But if you had one that didn't have like, mills on it or MOA and it was just like crosshairs, but otherwise is the same thing, you could totally buy it without any problems because ITAR.
ITAR is a stupid set of laws that prevents things from leaving the U.S., including non-physical materials like the training stuff.
Yeah,
which
or even
again, huge
some
opportunities
medical
for Canadians.
supplies. Yeah, medical supplies. Some of that stuff falls under ITAR. I mean, infrared
Helicopter
material.
parts.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Not
of
even
things.
kidding. Like,
yeah,
ITAR controls a lot of things related to firearms, not expressly firearms, and it really anything that can be associated with military style equipment can fall under ITAR, including theory, teaching materials.
yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting is in the article here is that they basically use the example that, you know, you can place a Brownells order and it'll arrive a week later. I don't think ITAR is what's slowing down your Brownells order.
Yeah, no.
No.
The thing that's slowing down your Brownells order is CBSA. It's the customs process.
And it's for our own good, really. You don't want to know
think
what
of the
goes
children.
on out there, citizen.
Like, the way it is right now, when you place an order from Brownells, it ships the next day, basically. Maybe 2 days later, it's shipped. So, I mean, ITAR is not slowing it down. It's the time it leaves Brownells to getting to your place. That's where the delay is. And in between there is CBSA.
Yeah.
It's CBSA.
Yeah. With ITAR, it just wouldn't ship, which I've had a problem with. You know,
Yeah,
you order
I've had
something
stuff.
ridiculous, like a brake, or like I even tried to order T-shirts from a company one time, but they're not set up to do anything like that. And they can't separate out their gun parts from their non-gun parts on their store. And they're like, no, we can't do that. And ITAR won't let us ship to you. And it's like, but it's not a gun part. They're like, yeah. Like, all right.
I've had I tried to order something from a manufacturer in the US and I was able to order a muzzle brake but not a compensator.
Oh, geez, though.
Because
That's
of
nice.
ITAR.
That's nice, though. That you can get a muzzle brake?
I know, but it's just like the ridiculousness of like it's essentially the same thing on the muzzle end of the firearm. But if you call it this name, you can't do it. But if you call it a different name, then it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Is
like
that
the
the
same
one I ordered, or are we
manufacturer.
still
and
waiting for
essentially the
that
same.
one?
Yeah, but just think about
No,
it. You
we're
were
still waiting for
allowed
that
to
one.
think about it. You were allowed to buy a muzzle brake from another country. God, isn't America wonderful? And Canada,
Well,
really, when you think.
But think
So
of the
this
children.
is fun fact. Say you manufacture a firearms part in Canada.
You mean
And
like
you
an illegal
have-
Mac 10 or?
No, say you're our buddy Nolan over at Matador Arms, and you manufacture muzzle brakes as an
Okay.
example. And somebody in New Zealand wants to buy a Matador Arms Stinger muzzle brake.
They're
He
quite
can
good.
literally, well, he can't, but a distributor can put it in a box and mail it to New Zealand, and it's fine. But if he was located in the U.S., he wouldn't be able to do that because ITAR would stop him from doing it unless he has the incredibly expensive license to export
Whoa,
firearms.
okay,
components.
just a second. I don't think you've thought about this. This is probably going to upset you, but what you're talking about could be
Comes
seen
liberal Tim.
it could be seen as government interference in the businesses.
It is a little bit like government interference.
I hate to say it. I'm thinking that's probably what it is. It's government interference in business.
Yeah. It almost sounds like it. I mean, I don't see why they would want to do that. Like that's
Like I don't know. Like I counted to like 6, and I expected a counter argument. I'm just not getting one.
Okay. So, who
The
here
children?
fully suspects that if they actually eliminate ITAR, the liberals are going to come in and put something in place?
What about
well, that's yeah.
They already have that in place with CBSA. CBSA are allegedly. Where's my drop for that?
Yeah.
allegedly?
Allegedly.
CBSA
Allegedly.
has
I'm
in
working
place
on
a
it.
process where they're tracking all of the firearms products being brought into the country, along with all of the
Allegedly.
owners of those firearms and what they're
Allegedly.
licensed to possess. So the CBSA is already
Allegedly.
creating a backdoor registry of everything that's being imported into this country anyway. I just can't
Allegedly
prove it yet.
Man, I got to tell you, I just about took a huge wet shit right now because I'm so relaxed now. Because I'm thinking, if they're taking that much attention to detail with firearms parts, imagine what they're doing with illegal migrants.
They don't even have all-dressed chips in that shithole.
A huge,
That's not the most appropriate drop, but it was the closest one to push.
a huge wave of relief just washed over me because I know the government's taking care of stuff like that.
I heard a rumor from
they
a
have the time and
reputable
resources to worry about that. They have time and resources to worry about gun parts that are legally being exported to legal owners. I mean,
right. This is the problem. The rumor that I
don't
guys.
come in here, Marty. Don't come on. We're trying. I know I'm the most.
Society's great.
No, don't come in here. We're all feeling happy about how safe we are, and you come in with this whole, like
That's not a thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if they're worried about this, then the economy must be great, and everyone's got great jobs now, and
everyone's going to be making more money. The budget has already balanced itself, so yeah, things are good.
My Timmy's already up like 10 cents.
Once you're targeting legal, lawful firearms owners, I mean, everything else must be great. You got nothing else to do, right?
There you go again. You're saying it's easier to govern the law-abiding. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just assuming.
Are you going to say the easy things, like it's easy to go after the law-abiding people? It's harder to go after the criminals, so that's what the government does, and don't look at the negative. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. I assume that I assume that it's equally as difficult to go after law-abiding and the criminals. I mean, if you want to go after criminals, you just create a law that says that they can't do what they're doing, and then it's problem solved. It's pretty simple.
And that's how you get to create another registry of all the gun parts being imported into the country.
Although I had a few come through today that didn't have any yellow tape on them, so.
I don't know about you. I stand up. I stand up for
allegedly.
I stand up for my flag. I'm sorry. We just got a correction from the interwebs. I shouldn't have said illegal immigrants. I should have said irregular immigrants.
Ah, right.
That's not a thing.
What would the regular way be?
Legally.
Probably
the
long,
legal way.
Long and painstaking and expensive. Probably.
Yeah, you probably don't get in.
And it probably wouldn't end up in reliance on a welfare system. But I've been drinking. Maybe I'm being a little more negative than normal.
All right, let's do the next one from the CBC. Well, if you don't talk over me, I won't have to edit it, and the program will just remove the dead air. We have technology for that.
What an amazing world we live in.
All right, another article from the CBC. I fucking hate you guys. I'm not going to edit it out. There's random laughter in the background and shit.
Another article from the CBC.
Yes, another article from the CBC. Farmers worry over future liberal tax reforms. So, more than 350 people attended a meeting hosted by Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre Thursday night. This is from last week. So, there's a bunch of farmers that visited Ottawa to complain about proposed changes to federal tax rules regarding incorporated businesses and how that's going to affect family farms. Particularly the problem that's coming about with the new the proposed changes to tax law is when you sell your farm to your children, the government receives a portion of that sale as tax. The amount that you have to pay if you sell the farm to someone in your family is significantly higher than if you sell it to another corporation. This is going to kill the family-owned farm in Canada.
Doesn't that sound completely ass backwards? Like,
but you have to realize this was written by our finance minister, who's a trust fund baby, that is not looking out for the middle class, is not looking out for farmers, does not understand how to file taxes, does not understand how to run a corporation or a family farm. This is all to prevent tax cheats from not paying their fair share.
Yeah, but I was watching this show called Game of Thorns, and there's this part in it. There's this fella, and he says, whenever someone does something, I like to imagine what's the worst possible reason they could do that.
Okay. So what is the reason that Morneau is doing that?
Well, you could say, this is an assault on the family-owned farm as an entity in rural Canada.
I'm okay with saying that. I say that, yes.
In fact, all evidence would have to say that's exactly what it is. And you would have to say, if you were to create that situation, then you'd have to be stupid to not notice what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't think that this is specifically targeting, rural Canadians and targeting farmers. I think this is just an example of them not giving a shit
implications
about,
exactly.
Right. Like they don't care about rural Canadians at all. This is all of their policies, everything that they're doing is targeted at the urban centers, and so they've made a policy that they think will play well in the urban centers, and yeah, it screws over a bunch of rural Canadians. Doesn't matter. It's not their voters.
Oh, here, I'm going on Facebook. Here's a comment from Urban Canada. And they say, farmers worry about everything, lol. See you at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Hooray for derastinated marketplace units. Everybody's just going to be part of the machine and trade some currency for their Starbucks there, guy.
At this point, you just, again, you got to say, like, democracy has failed. When the majority of the people live in the urban populations, the fact that they can just, like, these are people who get in the way of their commute to the cottage, with their combines and their farm equipment and tractors and their pickup trucks, and
man, I love farm equipment and tractors and pickup trucks.
Well, I got to tell you, I have a few uses for a pig farm myself. And
I wonder how big of an industrial-sized wood chipper we could keep on a pig farm.
Oh,
yeah, I gotta say, there was at the plying match, there was certainly a few implements there that would have been great for crowd control.
Okay, so going back to the Facebook comment there, Tim.
Yeah.
The question I have is, when did you start following Justin Trudeau?
I guess when I realized my sock game really needed to be kicked up a notch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys stay up on the latest sock trends.
Yeah. And I wanted to get my hairstyle a little left of Richard Spencer.
Justin Trudeau!
I killed the internet.
No, I don't think so. I was just waiting to see if anybody else is going to fill that dead air.
No, you yelled at us the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I could spend hours talking about Tim's fabulous haircut. You could set your watch. You could set your watch by that haircut.
You should check out Tim's Good Socks.
Yeah, timsgoodsocks.biz.
.biz. Nobody has the .biz.
So anyway, like the whole thing is just this whole, like, I'm from a small town. I'm from a small town of 500 people. And I was born in the 70s, and I lived through the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, which I don't even remember. So now we're in the 10s. But it's just like the whole everything is just speeding up so much. The urbanization of Canada has really just come to a crushing kind of amount, and the fact that these people have such a political clout is wrong. And it's just like there's everyone. So like I go to Walmart, and there's people who have to shop at Walmart because of low prices, and everyone's wanting to see the sticker on the bumper sticker that says "Farmers Feed Cities," and I laugh, not good naturedly, but like wrongly, and I say cities devour farmers, and it's just like. And I know it's what I'm saying is right. But it's wrong. It's just like these farmers like shit. Sean, that's on the show. Like the guy's working like 6 till 10. It's harvest time out there in Saskatchewan. The guy's
trying to get the harvest in.
Yeah, he's working 6 till 10. And screw your labor code and screw this and that and health and safety and stuff. He's got to get that harvest in. He's got to pitch in and do this stuff. And it's just like no one gives a shit, and the fact that these people all get the same vote is wrong. Democracy is not working. This is not what it's all about. You can sell votes to the laziest, most entitled people, and get a majority government in this country, and something has to change.
Great. Hopefully the pushback from this. Hopefully there will be pushback from this.
I'm seeing some polls showing Conservatives ahead, and I hope it's time, because for every action there's a reaction, and I would like to see 8 years of federal conservatism. And everyone who thinks like conservatism is a lack of progression, it's just conservatism to me is a lack of government. They go smaller government and whatnot, and it's just like that allows you to do what you want. It's not like, and if you don't believe me, you look at what's going on with this pot industry that everyone thought we'd have like our backyards packed with marijuana plants like 2 years ago when Justin Trudeau was running for election. Like shit, it's almost October. Like this guy's been in the office almost 2 years now. We all thought we'd be growing our own pot and doing whatever the hell. Like that's what
we didn't liberals. That I said this when this guy got elected. It's going to be a wedge issue for the next election. Yep. He's going to blame evil Stephen Harper and the Conservatives for not letting them get their agenda through. And if they can just get one more term of Justin Trudeau, then they'll get marijuana. They'll finally get pot. Well, just they'll all be high.
That's what we've been saying. But the people that voted for him, I agree with Tim, think that.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. The reality is this will be a wedge issue to get the useful idiots to vote in favor of the federal Liberals again in 2 more years.
Yeah.
And they'll blame the Conservatives, and particularly Stephen Harper, because he is literally the devil. Oh, and that's the reason why they didn't get the pot laws passed.
He made Trudeau elbow someone in the tit just by being in the room.
Remember when that Syrian boy he was found drowned on that beach, and I saw him in Parliament the next day, and his shoes were squishing.
Yep. Pure evil, that guy. Pure evil.
I see you putting stuff in the drinking water on Indian reserves.
Well,
but they don't have drinking water on Indian reserves.
Big bags of fluoride, just dumping it in there.
Now, going to Tim's comment, though, in terms of is there going to be a backlash from this? I don't think there is. Like, obviously, there's people that are upset about this, but is that liberal voters that are upset by this?
No, certainly not. These are people that own farms and small businesses. People that would not vote liberal.
People who are too busy to
one
vote.
With those people now.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen is you will see a collapse before you see a correction in the voting to, it's just like we're the worst. We're the most indebted. Ontario specifically, and I don't know where Canada falls, but Ontario specifically is the most indebted sub-sovereign nation in the world. Like more than twice the debt per capita of California.
And she has a solid chance of getting reelected again.
Oh, she does, yeah.
So ridiculous.
Yeah,
Because,
like,
but the fact that
I
the
don't-
conservatives can't find someone that can stand up against this is absurd. I'd run if it wasn't for my porn history.
Like in terms of your
To be
browser
fair,
history,
you were
like
really
Ted
good in those
Cruz,
movies.
or
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ted Cruz wishes. Yeah, I wish I had Ted Cruz's history. That's
But do you think it's? I mean, ultimately, I mean, you're right that there's a portion of it is just that the candidates have been poor on the conservative side of things. But I think half, like, I don't care who you would have had, who you have run. Like, a lot of the voters are not, educated on what's going on. They're not paying attention to the actual issues. They're getting their news through the CBC, and the CBC says the conservatives are evil and the liberals are doing everything great. And anything that's gone wrong is a result of the conservatives not being able to do exactly what they wanted.
yeah, but if you take that the situation, the social situation with the political situation, there's if you look at government, the state of the government, and the state of the society with regards to how they pay attention to the government and with how they pay attention to the media. And it's just if you go back 10 years and just extrapolate what's happened in the last 10 years, there's no hope, really. Like, I hate
especially when the
hate
media is the government, which is the case with CBC.
yeah. Like, everyone's talking about
Like,
this. What everyone's talking about, this Kardashian that's pregnant, and it's just like, what the
who
hell are you
cares?
talking about? Like who? Like, the liberals are putting taxes on land transference from. Like the fact that you're better off selling your farm to a stranger than you are your family member. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Literal
like if there's
bread
going to
and
be
cheese.
if there's going to be tax layers or levels or whatever, it should be more beneficial to sell it to a family than to some other corporation. I mean, it should be the same, or they shouldn't tax it at all because you've probably already paid tax on it when you bought the land originally and everything that was put onto that land. But that's a whole other debate.
So I did some really good interning. If I understand the metrics correctly, Canada is the 11th most in debt country out of at the national level.
11.
So there's 190 countries and we're number 11.
No, like per capita or total?
No. Total external debt in converted US dollars as of the end of March of this year. United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Japan, Italy, Ireland, Spain, Canada. We almost made the top 10.
Yeah. Guess what all those other countries that you mentioned have? Population.
Membership into the G20?
An actual population. Okay. Like, Canada's population is so small by comparison.
Probably the smallest.
I don't know. Netherlands and Luxembourg are both relatively small countries. They're physically small. They can't contain that many people.
Yeah, but
I don't know. We'd have to get the intern to correlate a bunch of data
off.
and cross-reference, but
yeah, not far off. You're right that they're less than Canada, but not by a whole lot.
Good job, intern.
No. Yeah, I aim to please. It does get worse though. As a percentage of the GDP, the net public debt as a percentage of the GDP, we're at 99.8%. Our debt almost exceeds our GDP.
Wow.
That's
you know what we need?
we're basically at parity. We need
pipeline.
And the budget will balance itself.
From the heart outwards.
Okay,
yeah,
so we're talking. These numbers are insane, and when you walk around, who's talking about it?
No, and I mean, I literally had to look stuff up, and this wasn't just the first thing that you get out of Google to find this number. This data is not easily retrievable. This makes me sad. Oh, well, something about a pregnant Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she pregnant?
Who cares? I literally had this conversation with the wife earlier today. She's like, she was, I don't know, telling me something about something, and people are all excited about somebody being pregnant and who, and she had to explain to me who this person was. Apparently, it's Bruce Jenner's kid or something. Some
It's
relative of
grandkid,
Bruce
isn't
Jenner.
it?
I don't know.
Caitlyn. Caitlyn.
I still don't care. I didn't care before. I still don't care now.
I saw an awesome meme on Liberty Memes today, and it's just said, "Yeah, if you got to take hormones to be a woman, you're probably not a woman."
That's a good rule of thumb. I mean, it's not as good as the original rule of thumb, but it's pretty good.
Anyway, I love memes. Memes are my existence now. I live in
Especially
meme form.
Liberty Memes has some good ones.
Oh shit, yes.
All right. There was a segue a while ago, and I totally missed it because we talked about other things instead.
Pregnant Kardashian.
CTV News article. Yeah. Pregnant Kardashian. Only the finest news here on Canadian Patriot Podcast.
Yeah.
I blame myself.
I blame yourself too. Trudeau shows off
Yes.
farming skills at international plowing match. Now, a number of people on the panel had the pleasure of attending the 100th annual international plowing match in Walton, Ontario this past week. Gentlemen, did you have a good time at the plowing match?
It was quite good. It was hot as balls, but you know, the crowds were good. The delicious poutine at Chez Guy was fantastic. You know, and good country folk all around.
Yeah, it was a good show.
I also enjoyed the show and eating the food and seeing the tractors and explaining to my wife how they were not, in fact, herding cows when they were roping them.
Yeah.
I unfortunately missed the shiniest of ponies, although I was there the same day that he was.
Yeah, his motorcade drove by my tent when I was working the booth.
Did you conduct any international relations? I'm asking if you flipped the bird.
I was inverted at the time, so yes.
Was it a 4G turn?
Diplomatic relations.
Well,
I've seen that tent. It's a hell of a tent.
We have the best tents. Everyone knows this.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, so I don't know. I missed seeing the shiniest of ponies, but I guess he was on a tractor for a while. I did see photos of him there.
Yeah.
Showing
all
the Trudeau costume thing is really starting to bother me. Yeah, well, of course it was a Massey, right? Like, of course it was a Massey 135. It's just there's an abundance of these tractors, but once again, Trudeau plays dress up for photo ops. Like, that was my takeaway from this, was he's like, I'm just one of the people. I have a shirt and blue jeans on because I'm a hardworking kind of Canadian.
Did you notice that his hat had a outline of Canada on it, though?
Yes, I saw his stupid hat had an outline of Canada on it.
Like, it's a little bit more subtle than like a maple leaf. But, you know,
I don't know why there were I don't know why there was reported to be like cheering crowds. There's no pictures of cheering crowds, but a bunch of articles about this indicate that people were cheering for him while he was driving this tractor, which
maybe they just misspelled cheering.
Talked to people that were at the show and saw him, I don't think anyone was particularly pleased by his presence. I mean, he was no Win, who from what I understand got BTFO'd so hard that she got booed off of a stage.
Yeah, last year was pretty epic. To the point where this year, apparently, as soon as somebody confronted her, even in a polite manner, they had a security guard place a hand on their back and say, you need to leave, and you need to leave now, and then kind of guided them out very briskly.
Yeah.
Right, so going back to Trudeau's hat, is it missing everything to the east of Quebec?
No, but I think they forgot to include Alberta. There's a section of embroidery that's missing. Absent.
I think we need to actually make a T-shirt with that.
Did somebody say T-shirt?
Somebody did say T-shirt.
It would just say like Trudeau's Canada, and it's a map of Canada with nothing for Alberta.
I still don't understand the media party fawning over Trudeau, like saying that he showed off his farming skills. He drove a tractor 100 meters.
Their job.
Yeah.
It's their job.
I know it's their job. I know it's their job. I just don't understand how the media party is still. Like, how does anybody take this seriously?
It all makes sense.
He probably walked away from that going, boy, farming's easy.
If you think of Trudeau as Stalin and the CBC as like their whatever the hell communist newspaper was back in that day, it all makes sense. They're going to say, like, if he fell down some stairs, they're going to talk about how he conquered the stairs. And he does fall down stairs.
So it's all double speak.
Yes.
This disappoints me greatly.
They're not going to talk about the fact that 70% of the people in the audience were miserable and wished he wasn't there, and are worried about how the government is setting up a situation where if they sell their damn property to a stranger, they're going to get taxed on it less than if their kids bought it from them. They're not going to say that. It's the CBC. They get $1 billion a year from their government. I was happy Tim earlier. Now I'm the anger Tim.
But yeah, do you think
it was just liberal, Tim?
Coincidence that he plans to be at this show because he wasn't there last year?
Well, they did win last year and it didn't work. So,
well, they had her again this year. Like the premier's always there. But like timing wise, with everything that's come out with like how they're basically fucking rural Canadians, I think that this is probably planned that he was there because, I mean, he certainly has a busy schedule because he was off at the UN talking about the natives again.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm not saying it's not a good photo op because, I mean, these are both true things. He is busy going and running a country and appearing at multiple events, and the plowing match seen particularly for rural Canadians who would typically not vote for the Liberal Party just out of like generational institutional inertia because farmers don't tend to be liberals.
Yeah, but I just think this is, I mean, very good timing on his part, given that they're just introducing this new garbage that's going to affect them in a negative way. And now he's showing up at something that he didn't show up at last year, even though he seems to be busier this year than he was last year.
Right, because it makes for a better photo op right now. Because look at how much we care about farmers. I was at the thing with the farmers, and nobody said anything bad. But not that he was there actually talking to anybody, so anybody could say anything bad to him. Because I don't know, I didn't hear anybody that was particularly excited by his presence.
Okay, yeah, but think of the numbers. Think of the number of people in Toronto that will see him riding a goddamn red tractor, and you think about my entire county. Like northern Bruce Peninsula, I think is like 12,000 people, but it's just a huge section of land with like 12,000 people in it. But it
14,000 Massey tractors, but
yeah, and a lot of crevices and pig farms we got to make use of.
There's a lot of places in Toronto named after the family whose name is on that tractor.
Yeah, people in Toronto don't know
I just
that.
like that there's like the actual farmer that's like walking alongside him, like ready to take over at any given point.
Well, yeah, you don't want that thing
to drive that straight line.
Like an
RSO, 10-year-old on the
like an RSO on Ladies' Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally any kid that grew up on a farm is more qualified to operate that machine than the leader of our country.
Yeah, but like that's an expensive machine, and if you fucked it up, that would have cost a lot of money. He's not going to get any help from the government paying for it, even though the prime minister fucked it up.
No, you just have to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
That's just a baby Massey. That's not that big of a machine.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what
they
are they?
probably have more than one.
Yeah, but with what money are they going to buy a new one or fix that one?
Yours.
All right. Let's do one more piece of Trudeau news. I got a sound clip.
It's constantly a fight against the way things have always been done. And as we see regularly, people who have power are loath to give up that power. And unfairly, men have gotten much more power than women in business, in corporate situations, in life in general. And if we are going to elevate women, some men are going to lose some power that they unjustly have. And people are always eager to fight to maintain their privileges, sometimes in more case than people are ready to fight to gain those privileges. And that's where being a he for she champion at the UN, being someone who's very outspoken, that men have an essential role to play in feminism, in equality, because like it or not, we have power that is unjustly given to us that we need to use and put in service of leveling the playing field.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper indeed, Marty. Or Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to.
I just want to start with
power.
He's a he for she feminist at the UN. That's lovely.
Well, our boy body president, prime minister, our boy body person, prime minister, is a signal fanatic, and
oh God, it's so signally.
Well, the thing is, it's just
it's so stupid
to be told
like,
that by someone
I'm just
the prime minister of a country solely because of who his father was is disgusting. Like, it's so apparent. It's disgusting. And the fact that people won't wake the hell up and just see that is absurd and frustrating as hell.
Right? I don't see him selling his prized car and donating that to some, feminist cause.
No, it's worse than that. I mean, you're scratching the surface of it. He's literally saying
I tried to
that
scratch the surface.
Without the patriarchy to elevate women, women can't elevate themselves. So as part of the patriarchy, we have to do it for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, the guy is an absolute clown. I mean, and that groveling sound that he's making, like, just the way he's talking, like, it just sounds like he's this, like, groveling, conniving little bastard. Like,
it's
okay, so let me ask the obvious question. He has a majority government. He has majority government. He's had majority government for 2 years now. What has he done to help women in his 2 years of majority government?
Well, he has a balanced cabinet.
He made half his cabinet half women. He made half his cabinet women.
Yeah, but that doesn't help women.
And then proceeded to basically fuck one of them and throw them under the bus.
Marty, damn you in your canoes and wooden shoes. he has done more for women. Oh my God! Don't you get it?
He for she feminist, Marty.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means. I think that's a made-up word.
I don't know. I think that's a made-up thing too. I've not heard it before in this interview.
I feel good though. Don't you get it?
Just the level of hypocrisy that we have men that have unfairly obtained power and they have to give it up to elevate women. No, like that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
No, this is a man who unfairly obtained power, and he's going to signal that it's wrong in order to keep power. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah. I don't see him giving up any power.
It's like, he keeps using the word equality. I really wish somebody would explain to him what that means.
I think it means.
Yeah.
I need to get a Princess Bride drop. Somebody cut parts out of that for me.
Today?
No, just as a thing, we need to get some Princess Bride drops.
What was the last thing I cut out for you? It's part of the Big Lebowski. God damn it! You got a God damn it for me?
No, I don't. But I can give you a.
Dear Canada, you.
It's pretty good.
That works.
I sent you a goddamn
That
like
works.
8 days ago.
You
Anyway,
sent me, God damn it.
sure, from Lebowski.
At the very least, he said it to you.
Well, that sounds appropriate.
Yeah, no, this is
Yeah,
the biggest load of shit ever. Like,
it's so signally and so meaningless. And it's
Canadian.
so,
It's Canadian politics in a T.
It's so denigrating from like a trust fund prime minister who is only our prime minister because his father was the prime minister is telling men that they have to give up their positions of power because it was unfairly obtained to elevate women. No.
all right,
No, it was
you
not
first.
unfairly obtained.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, you first, buddy.
Gavin, if I give you a gift for your birthday, is that unfairly obtained because I didn't give everyone else the same thing?
No, not at all.
Right? Like that's so if you inherit $1 million from your parents' trust fund, is that unfair and you should have to give it up? No, because somebody did work to get the $1 million. So stop lecturing the rest of Canada because you have a car that most Canadians will never earn enough money in their lifetime to be able to afford because you live off of a trust fund that your grandfather who actually did real work produced enough money that your family is phenomenally wealthy so that your father could play at politics and make an ass in front of himself in front of the Queen and that you could become the prime minister and then make an ass of yourself in front of our entire country. The patriarchy is not the problem. It's not unfairly earned advantage. Fuck you, get in the chopper.
Yeah, right in the chopper. This from the exact same thing. Like if you look at someone whose great grandparents might have immigrated here from Europe, and like my great grandparents owned like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of land, and it's just like it's just for any of that to trickle down to me to now get taxed more on that while I got some signaling baboon or buffoon with
same thing
with socks and a haircut up there telling me like that patriarchy is the problem and we've got to do something about it. Like, you know, it's just absurd.
Well, what they really should have done, Tim, is sold that land to strangers because they would have had a better tax break on it.
Well, yeah, but from their society, like your neighbors were like your society kind of thing. Like from those people, your neighbors and your people who helped you out, that was just society. Society needs to be kept small because the grander it gets and the larger it gets, the more stupid shit like this liberal nonsense can carry on. And that's what I really like about like our little group of people gathering together, because we're building a society within this shitty, you know, province. You know,
some would say the 3% of the 3%.
Yeah, but that's why I love to gather with my shooters and stuff at events and stuff like that in southwestern Ontario, because that's my society. The rest can screw off generally.
All right, let's do rapid fire feedback. We have a 5-star iTunes review from Zebkosk. Great Western Original 16 for beer, Lucky Bastard Distillery. Your choice. So technically it's a 5-star review, so I guess we have to find some beer or this whatever comes from this distillery.
Yeah. All right.
So thanks for the review.
I'll Google that. Great Western.
We appreciate it. I think they're an Alberta brewery. The name seems familiar.
Just Alberta. Is that a province in Canada?
No, I don't think that's in Canada.
No, I'd never heard our Prime Minister mention it.
No.
Alberta.
Must be made up.
Sounds like my brother's ex-girlfriend. Is Roberta. I'm confused. Help me, Google. Help me, Google.
Help me, Google. You're my only hope.
Google, you've turned off your targeting computer. There it is. Great Western Light. Oh, there we go. Something for you,
I
Marty.
think we
Great
want 16.
Great Western Light.
Because it's a light beer.
Yeah, it goes with the Coors.
That's funny.
Something to wash your Coors down with.
Yeah.
You can wash it right
Tim,
down.
You want
to
to
that
tell
shit.
everybody about the Fuck Cancer charity shoot?
Yeah, you had
So I
some
wanna
big
tell
news.
everyone-
Yeah, big news.
I got some big news. Yeah, shit, lots of shit going on. The Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot 2017 is going to be held at the Guelph Rod and Gun Club, and I really thank them for taking us on. And I know we're a bitter pill to swallow, and the
Bitter black pill.
Yeah, like 2 at least. The beneficiary is Scott H., who had stage 3 medullary thyroid cancer, and he's given us feedback. He's listened to parts of the podcast, and he says that my pronunciation of these words sucks. Well, shut up and take some charity. It's a rare cancer with 180 cases in Canada per year. He had his thyroid and 76 lymph nodes removed and 2 parathyroids, and the tumor went 3/4 of the way around his neck. He had 35 radiation treatments. He lost 1/3 of the range of motion of his head and neck. And the radiation treatments have left his lungs with chronic inflammation. And that makes it difficult for him to do his job, which is a self-employed general contractor. Now, this guy is a wizard with wood. And anyway, he's a good, solid guy. We're working into a lot of avenues and stuff like that. And we couldn't go we couldn't do as well with the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot, which is something I really enjoyed last year. Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot 2016. The real positive atmosphere of the shoot was amazing. Really, a really amazing part. Like a thing to be a part of. I think everyone who came out and supported us and sponsored us and helped out. Really, really looking forward to doing it in 2017. And to help out, like we have a bunch of sponsors. Gavin, do you want to mention a couple of sponsors or?
Yeah, I can most certainly do that. I want to pull up a cheat sheet here. Obviously, we have Ragnarok Tactical again. You know, if they didn't sponsor us, we'd be giving Andrew shit. Gray Fox Strategic has signed on with us again. A new sponsor for us is Wardoll Apparel. They make some pretty badass T-shirts. Titan Tactical once again has signed on with us. TDSA again, Lands again. Another new sponsor is the Firearms Outlet Canada. I believe Tim's got a story about those guys.
Yeah, those guys today, because of the sponsorship with the charity, to reward that like sponsorship, I became a new customer today. They didn't know anything about me or any contact with the Canadian Patriot podcast or the charity shoot, and I just created a new account, placed an order today, and the thing was processed in 20 minutes and shipped out the door in about like 3 hours. So these guys are really on top of the game. Yeah, really, really on top of the game. I've like some of the people the service in Ontario, like when you order something in Ontario on a Tuesday and it doesn't get shipped until Friday afternoon and you wanted it for the weekend, that's kind of disappointing. These guys, from what their Facebook page is showing, like they're really, really on top of their game. And that kind of like out of the blue test was amazing. I think they got there's some good solid guys, and I called the owner specifically, and I wanted to thank them for and I wanted to point out specifically that I chose to be to go to their store because they're supporting the cancer shoot and charity shoots in Southwestern Ontario, and to thank them for that. And then I also wanted to let them know how well their staff was doing. And I also contacted them, and they had mentioned that the prize they're sending to the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot is they're sending like a bunch of 9mm. So we're going to break that up, and we're going to get a couple of people some chances to win some a serious amount of 9mm ammunition from Firearms Outlet Canada. So anyway, great place to do business with.
And I mean it's
really
sad state of affairs in Canada with a lot of our gun companies, but it's nice to have somebody that's local to us more or less that actually does a good job. I mean, I've popped into their store a few times personally, and it's always been good and friendly staff and good selection. So
well, there's been like I've been doing business with places in Ontario for like years, and it's just like Farms Out Like Canada. Like it was just kind of to me it was new, and I took a chance on them because they're helping with the shoot. So I respect that, and I want to return the favor. And the fact that they were able to give such excellent service when they're working on their new storefront. There's amazing shit coming. They're gonna open their new storefront in January 2018. They're gonna have 15,000 square feet at the same location. Good stuff is coming to Southwestern Ontario.
I mean,
shooting sports are growing.
Andrew and I were there for their grand opening.
It's true, we were.
Oh, good.
And coincidentally, but we were there for their grand opening, and it looked like a good store at the time. And I mean, I'd came back since then a few times, and never disappointed with them.
Good.
So.
Oh, and I really, I'm so excited about this, but I almost hesitate to say it. But I reached out because my daughter wanted an award at school today, and I was drinking beer while cooking dinner. I wanted to make her. She loves the way I make burritos. So I made my daughter some special burritos, and I had about 2 liters of beer while I'm making dinner and enjoying dinner. And then it's while listening to the Conan the Barbarian theme soundtrack on my Bluetooth headphones, and I reached out randomly to a guy on Facebook. And I said, we're doing this charity shoot for cancer called the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot. And I really respect you as a shooter and as a big part of the firearms community. And I've always liked you since you did this one video on YouTube. And I was wondering if there was a way that you could like sign a sling and get us.
Are we finally going to get Rod Giltack on the show?
No.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. No, I didn't reach out to Rod Giltack. Strange. Anyway, I reached out, and what so far he's responded, and he said, sure, I'll sign a sling for you and get it to you. And hopefully, if unless something goes seriously off the rails, we're going to have an autographed sling from Larry Vickers at the to be available as a prize to vote on at the Fuck Cancer charity shoot. So
amazing.
So anyway, I took
fantastic.
He seemed like a good stand-up guy on his YouTube videos, and I just took a shot.
I met Larry at SHOT Show last year and earlier this year and spoke with him briefly, and he seems like a pretty decent dude in person. Like what you see in the videos seems like what he's like in real life.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever success Larry's enjoying right now, really, from what I've seen from him, he should have it like fourfold. Like it's just I wish all the best for him, and I just glad I took a shot in the dark to reach out to him, and someone who comes to the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot 2017 will be able to get a chance to win an autographed sling, Blue Forest gear sling from autographed by Larry Vickers himself. So.
That's pretty awesome.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I dig that. I want a new sling.
Yeah, maybe next year at the third annual, when we get a little bit bigger, he'll give one of his 1911s away.
Maybe he'll come up.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the fourth year.
Yeah, fourth year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
next
fifth year.
I want a Vickers course next year.
No, the fifth year. V for Vickers.
Yeah, that would actually be a good
Tim's
deal.
on the marketing.
Yeah.
There we go. We just gotta hang in. Stay the course. Look at my socks.
Look at my socks. All right. What else? We got anything else? I think that's it for the charity shoot. Facebook page is up. Go and register. Get squatted.
Do we have the link for the thing?
Yeah, the link for the thing is available. I'll put the registration and the Facebook link in the show notes.
Tweet. I'll put those on the Facebook page, and then we're all good to go. And then spam the shit out of everything.
Excellent. I can probably do this later. I don't need to be typing out the links right now. That's not a good use of my time.
No, we'll wait.
Yeah, we got nothing to do.
Dead air, everybody. All right, let's do the outro. Gavin, where can everybody find you?
Best place you can find me, aside from the Fuck Cancer charity shoot, is on Instagram at urbex_GTA.
Marty, where can everybody find the podcast?
Facebook.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast, CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback, or feedback at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com.
Tim, where can people find you on the internet?
Find me at timsgoodtshirts.ca or facebook.com/timsgoodtshirts. Or you can find me at the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot on October 21st at the Golf Rod and Gun Club. If you like me, you can come up, shake my hand. Come on out to the pub event later. We'll go be at the Shakespeare Arms, I believe. So we're going to be eating wings and drinking beer. And if you don't like me, you can punch me in the shoulder for $5 a pop.
All proceeds go to
the Fuck Cancer Charity Shoot 2017.
Yeah, and maybe we'll eventually figure out what the hell is in that secret room at the Shakespeare's Arms.
Oh, you're going to open that up right now? I thought we'd go more covert. But I'll be packing tools, and you got some skills.
Yeah.
Get those covert entry on.
But go, Bin Laden. We coming.
As always, my name is Andrew. You can find me at ragnaroktactical.ca. Come and get some first aid trauma supplies or take a firearms training course. Shop.ragnaroktactical.ca. I have to apologize to Red Giltaka. I really thought Tim had got in contact with him and we'll get him on the show tonight. So I'm afraid that didn't work out in our favor. If you want to send me your hate mail, you can do that. Feedback at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. And for all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I would like to remind you that you are the true North, strong and free.